So boom! Hadouken! Yeah! Yeah, 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 yeah! Striker uppercut! Haha! Yeah, everybody loves Street Fighting. Yeah, Street Fighter 2 was the bomb back in the early 1990s. Everybody had to have it. It was in all the arcades. It was just so exciting. You get 6 buttons to work with. There are different fighting styles. Some had projectiles, some didn't. Some were good at close range combat, or ones like Delsing, good long range. Yeah, and the Street Fighter series is still going strong to this day. Like here we got Street Fighter 4 right now, which is pretty much just a modified version of Street Fighter 2. But since this is an episode of Turbo Tuesdays, yeah, there's really not too much Street Fighter I can actually talk about. Okay, I'm here in North America, of course. And what did we get on the Turbografx-16? Yeah, the first ever Turbo CD game, Fighting Street. And that's all we got for Street Fighter, sadly. It wasn't easy being a Turbografx-16 owner back then. Especially when you had nearly arcade perfect versions of Street Fighter 2 on Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. If you saw my review on this, you know this is a huge piece of crap. The original Street Fighter, or Fighting Street as it's called. Again, stupid name. It's not very fun to play. Don't buy it. No, this episode of Turbo Tuesdays is going to be about the super awesome game we should have got over here. Emphasis, we should have got. Because I'm talking about the awesome Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition for the PC Engine. Yeah! Like, look at that kick-ass artwork. You know it's going to be awesome just by looking at it. Alright, so let's have a closer look at the game. Right, so how do you play this game on your system? Here I'm playing it on my Turbo Duo here with a special converter. Alright, here I have the largest North American megabit game. Yeah, bonk free actually clocks in at 8 megabits. Very huge back then, but Street Fighter 2 actually clocks in at 20 megs. You can actually see the game. It has this big lump on it. Almost like a cancerous tumor, but it just goes to show you where the actual memory went into. And if you want to play some Street Fighter 2, highly recommend that you get a 6-button controller here. Yeah, you can still play with the regular 2 buttons, but if you got a Turbo Duo here, you can play PC Engine controllers on the system, no problem. If you have a regular Turbografx-16, it might be an issue. This one actually doesn't support PC Engine controllers, so you know, be careful. If you have Street Fighter 2 here, you can actually play it on the go with your PC Engine GT. That's great. Again, you only got 2 buttons to work with, so you have to use the run button as like the light attack. And this isn't some crappy game like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters, where you only got 2 buttons to work with. You can still select from the kits and punches, so you still got the 6 buttons to work with in a sense. Okay, so yeah, if you get one of your 6-button controllers here, just switch it over to B, and it's instant. It switches over right away. I don't have to do the no messing around in the options menu. If you have it on mode A there it switches back to regular 2-button controls. And believe me, you don't want to be playing that way. It's amazing what they're able to cram into this little card here. Yeah, the screen has to be compressed a little bit. It's barely noticeable. Especially when you get heated in a contest like this. Oh yeah, got to see your underpants. Yeah, and that's one of the few occasions where you actually see Japanese in this game. Yeah, sadly if you look at the backgrounds, they're very flat. Yeah, there is some parallax scrolling missing. Like if you actually look at the power plant in the back or whatever it is, it's on the same plane as the actual foreground. But if you look on the ground itself, yep, it's still 3D. You move and the lines actually move in different directions. Freaky, eh? That's only something a nerd like me would actually recognize. The average player, haha, punching, kicking, fun. Not that I'm insulting anybody out there. All my subscribers are very smart and intelligent. Sadly, much like the Super Nintendo original translation, there are only 2 elephants on each side. Unlike the arcade, which had 3 elephants. We don't get the brunette girl in the miniskirt here. Just the blonde chick. And the girls are actually wearing bikinis here, not one-piece bathing suits. You gotta love that. And the voices are pretty crisp in this game as well. Yeah, just like the original arcade version, music speeds up when you're fighting. Starts out nice and calm, and then boom, it gets all intense. Yeah, such great music. Yeah, so this is for all the people that make fun of the Turbografx-16. Oh, it's just an 8-bit system. You can barely do shit. Well, look at this motherfucker. A nearly arcade perfect port of Street Fighter 2. This would have been so awesome to play. But what do we get in 1992 and 1993 for Turbografx-16? Legend of Hero Tomba? A very obscure arcade game nobody remembers? No way the graphics would look this good on a regular 8-bit Nintendo or Sega Master System. Believe me, there's a lot of horsepower in that PC engine in Turbografx-16. Sadly, I should say PC engine because even though this game is like 80% English, it wasn't ported over here for some goddamn stupid reason. Again, I don't understand why this game didn't get ported in North America. If there was a cost issue of making it a 20 megabit game, why not just make it on a CD here in North America? Especially since the Turbo Duo was still in stores. Oh, I don't know. Again, it's a whole stupid reason why we don't have a version of Mortal Kombat on the Turbo Duo in the first place. Alright, we get to fight Balrog, who's named M. Bison here. Yeah, the whole reason why they had to change his name to Balrog, it's because it sounded too much like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson said, "Hey, you can't be doing that. I'm gonna fucking eat your kids if you don't change the name." I don't know, maybe they were just really afraid of Mike Tyson. And who wouldn't be? Alright, now we're fighting Vega. Or Balrog. I can understand switching Mike Tyson's name, but from M. Bison and all, but why did they have to switch Vega? Vega is now Balrog. And yeah, Balrog is now M. Bison. M. Bison is Vega. Another cool thing about this version is that it has a barrel scene in it. I remember this was taken out of the Super Nintendo original version at least. Oh. Darn it! No, don't flip! There we go. Yep. And just like the other versions of Street Fighter 2, get unlimited continues. Okay, once you beat Vega or Balrog, even though I'm Balrog and I just beat a Vega. Okay, yeah, Sega, he at least didn't change his name. Yeah, that'd be funny if he did. Instead of like Sega or something, he can be called like Toby. Yeah, Bison, he's as cheap as ever. Or Vega. Spanish ninja, or whatever you want to call him. Yeah, so what's the deal with M. Bison here? Is he supposed to be Spanish? Is that why Rio Julia is playing him? Is Ryu Julia Spanish? Oh, no way I hit him. Yeah, the fights can get very intense. And you can't blame it on the controls this time, because the controls in this game are awesome. I don't like that stupid Fighting Street game. You know, Street Fighter 1, even though they called it Fighting Street. I still don't know why. Why the hell did they call it Fighting Street? Is it because of that stupid original Nintendo game? Either way, the game sucks. Fighting Street sucks. And this is what a Street Fighter game should be. But sadly, it was almost too little too late. Yeah, it sucks when this game came out in 1993. That was only the second rendition of Street Fighter 2. You can only play as the bosses, but didn't have all the cool moves that were in the, you know, Hyper Turbo Edition. No speed select or nothing. I thought since this was called Dash that it would have, you know, a speed option. Increase the speed of the game, but no. Here you got the Genesis or Mega Drive and Super Famicom, Super Nintendo versions. They came out with the Hyper Special Editions. And that's the third rendition of Street Fighter 2. That means Chun-Li has a fireball, you can select your speed, all that cool stuff. Here is just the original Championship Edition, which lets you play as the bosses. They made a few tweaks, like E Honda's ability to do a walking version of the 100-hand slaps. The speed is great. There's barely any slowdown from the Super Nintendo game. The sound effects and music are actually better than the Genesis one. Even though this is on a card, there's still a lot of content in here. You got the endings for all 12 characters. It's great. I just wish this version had more extras. Sega was highly determined to kick Nintendo's ass. And they were so determined to kick Nintendo's ass, instead of calling it like regular Championship Edition, no, we're going to give you all the advantages of Turbo, and we're calling this Special Championship Edition, motherfucker. But here it's just regular Championship Edition on the PC Engine. Look at this game too. It's practically all in English. Yeah, I actually don't see any Japanese text on here. In fact, you probably wouldn't even know it's a Japanese game until you see the little PC Engine up there. Yeah. And there's some Japanese text right here. Other than that, if you just put a Turbografx-16 logo in here and modify the chips a little so that it will actually read on a Turbografx-16 system, boom! It will be instantly translated. But no, NEC has a huge stick up their ass and decide just to leave this awesome game over in Japan. And that's a shame. Because Street Fighter Championship Edition for the PC Engine, it earns an 83 out of 100. It's awesome. Yeah, and this is on the card too. This is on a CD, yet this is the much better game.